Hi, welcome to my first tutorial. Thank you very much. So I'll be starting with phishing. So I'm here. Okay, let's start from the dashboard. So when you log into TryHackMe, this is the page you get, your dashboard. So if you are a free user like me, come here, go to search. So you're searching for free rooms now. So okay. Alhamdulillah, excuse me. Why is this taking so long? Good. Alhamdulillah. Excuse me. So we come here, phishing, then come to the subscription type, free only, then difficulty, start with easy, then the room type, want and walkthroughs. Okay, so okay, like now, phishing analysis fundamentals. So if you click on this, it's obvious that I've actually done this before. So what I can do just to show is come to options, you reset progress. Yes, reset my progress. Good, so we can start. Introduction. Spam and phishing are common social engineering attacks. In social engineering, phishing attack vectors can be a phone call, a text message, or an email. As you should have already guessed, our focus is on email as the attack vector. We all should be somewhat familiar with what spam is. No matter what, these emails somehow find their way into our inboxes. The first email classified as spam dates back to 1978 and is still thriving today. Phishing is a serious attack vector that you, as a defender, will have to defend against. An organization can follow all the recommended guidelines when it comes to building a layered defense strategy. Still, all it takes is an inexperienced and unsuspecting user within your corporate environment to click on a link or download and run a malicious attachment which may provide an attacker a foothold into the network. Many products help combat spam and phishing, but realistically, these emails still can get through. When they do, as a security analyst, you need to know how to analyze these emails to determine if they are malicious or benign. Furthermore, you will need to gather information about the email to update your security products to prevent malicious emails from making their way back into a user's inbox. In this room, we'll look at all the components involved with sending emails across the internet and how to analyze email headers. Deploy the machine attached to this task. It will be visible in the split screen. View once it is ready. If you don't see a virtual machine load, then click the Show Split View button. So we are going to start the machine. And we can see that it is loading, right? So we complete the email address. It is only appropriate to start this room by mentioning the man who invented the concept of emails and made the @ symbol famous. The person responsible for the contribution to the way we communicate was Ray Tomlinson. The invention of the email dates back to the 1970s for ARPANET. Yeah, probably before you were born. Definitely before I was born. So what makes up an email address? 1. The user mailbox or username, the @ symbol, and 3. The domain. Let's look at the following email address: billy@johndoe.com. The user mailbox is Billy at thanks Ray, and the domain is johndoe.com. To simplify this even further, think about the street on which you live on. You can think of your street as the domain, the recipient's first or last name, along with the house number in this scenario represents the user mailbox. With this information, the postal worker delivering the mail knows into which mailbox to put the letters. Next, let's look at the network protocols used to send an email from the sender to the recipient. Question: email dates back to what time frame? 1970s. Submit. Correct. So the next topic, email delivery. A handful of protocols are involved with the magic that takes place when you hit send in an email client. By now, you should already know that certain protocols were created to handle specific network-related tasks such as email. There are 3 specific protocols involved to facilitate the outgoing and incoming email messages, and they are briefly listed below. We have the SMTP, POP3, and IMAP. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is utilized to handle the sending of emails. POP3, Post Office Protocol. It is responsible for transferring email between a client and a mail server. IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. It is responsible for transferring email between a client and a mail server. You should have noticed that both POP3 and IMAP have the same definition, but there are differences between the two. The difference between the two is listed below. POP3. Emails are downloaded and stored on a single device. Sent messages are stored on the single device from which the email was sent. Emails can only be accessed from the single device the emails were downloaded to. And if you want to keep messages on the server, make sure the setting Keep Email on Server is enabled, or all messages are deleted from the server once downloaded to the single device's app or software. For IMAP, emails are stored on the server and can be downloaded to multiple devices. Sent messages are stored on the server, and messages can be synced and accessed across multiple devices. So what this means is that for IMAP, if you log into your phone, you get it. Log into your laptop, you get it. For POP3, if you log into your phone, you only get it on your phone once it is downloaded. I need to make sure the setting Keep Email on Server is enabled. If not, you won't have it anymore. Now, let's talk about how email travels from the sender to the recipient. To best illustrate this, see the oversimplified image below. Okay, so let me just minimize this. So we have a very big view. Good. So we have mail from alexa@janedoe.com through the SMTP server to the DNS server, back to the SMTP server, through the firewalls till it reaches billy@janedoe.com. So now the explanation. Alexa composes an email to billy@janedoe.com in her favorite email client. After she's done, she hits the send button. The SMTP server needs to determine where to send Alexa's email. It queries DNS for information associated with janedoe.com. We can see that here. The DNS server obtains the information janedoe.com and sends that information to the SMTP server. Back to the SMTP server. The SMTP server sends Alexa's email across the internet to Billy's mailbox at janedoe.com. In this stage, Alexa's email passes through various SMTP servers and is finally relayed to the destination SMTP server. Alexa's email finally reached destination SMTP server. Alexa's email is forwarded and is now sitting in the local POP3/IMAP server waiting for Billy. Billy logs into his email client, which queries the local POP3 or IMAP server for new emails in his mailbox. Alexa's email is copied, that is IMAP, or it is downloaded, POP3, to Billy's email client. So that's the explanation for the diagram. Lastly, each protocol has its associated default ports and recommended ports. For example, SMTP is port 25. You read the following article to understand the difference between each here. So now, if you have anything you don't understand, let's say you don't know what DNS is, or you have some phrases that you feel like you do not quite understand, Google is your friend. You can just search Google and you have your answer. So we are going to click here, and whenever you have links like that, it's just best you read through. So what port is classified as secure transport for SMTP? So I'm guessing we'll have that here. If you read through this very well, we are going to have it. For SMTP, this is for POP and IMAP. So we are going for SMTP. Secure transport, okay. What port should I use? So for SMTP we have port 465, I believe. So you can see there, secure transport port 465, insecure transport, then the port 25, that is the common one. Okay, so we come back here and put 465 and we have our answer. What port is classified as secure transport for IMAP? Okay, so we come back here, we have IMAP secure port, we have port 993. In case you are wondering why they are mentioning secure or not, you just need to go through your networking fundamentals and you understand that. What port is classified as secure transport for port 3? So we come here, secure port 995. 995. Email headers. Okay, good. Great. We now know how an email travels from point A to point B and all the protocols involved in the process. This task is to understand the components of what makes up an email message when it arrives in an inbox. This understanding is necessary if you wish to analyze potentially malicious emails manually. Before we begin, we need to understand that there are two parts to an email. One, the email header, which contains information about the email, such as the email servers that release the email. The email body, which contains the text or the HTML formatted text. The syntax for email messages is known as the internet message format. So you can click on this to read more, but due to our limited time, I may not do that. So let me just let that load. Let's look at email headers first. What do you look for when analyzing a potentially malicious email? Let's start with the following email header fields. We have the from, which contains the sender's email address, the subject, which is the email subject line, the date when the email was sent, and to, which is the recipient's email address. This is usually clearly visible in any email client. Let's look at an example of these fields in the image below. So one, from, which is the sender's email address, you can see it here. Newsletters at handkeytech.com. Subject, 2, the subject is help protect your budget by protecting your home. The date, which the email was sent on Monday, June 21 at 11:36 a.m. and 2, which is the recipient's email address. 2, it has been cleared at yahoo.com. Let's say to recipient at yahoo.com. Note, the numbers in the above image correspond to the email header fields bullet listed above. Another method to obtain the same email header information and more is by viewing the raw email details. When looking at an email header in detail, it can be intimidating at first, but it is not so bad if you know what to look for. Note, depending on your email client, whether a web client or a desktop app, the steps to view these email header fields will vary, but the concept is the same. Review this knowledge-based article from Media Temple on viewing the raw or full email headers in various email clients here. What do you mean by email clients? Your Gmail, your Outlook, Proton Mail, Zoho, the difference. Okay, this center no longer exists. Probably it has been removed. Okay, this is about the internet message format. Okay, so these are just standards for which mailboxes should be constructed, really. Okay, so in the image below, you can see how to view this information within the Yahoo. You can see, you click the 3 dots, then you go to view raw message. Below is a snippet of the raw message for the email sample. So it has been given here. You can click on this to see better. Then click back. Good. Note, the above image shows some, not all, of the information within an email's header. You can review this email in the email samples directory on the desktop within the attached machine, virtual machine. The email is titled email1.eml. Okay, so here we come here and show split view, and we want a bigger view. Expand. Once you expand like that, you can exit split view, and we still have our, we see here. Good. So come here. From the above image, we are going to email 1 in email samples. Email 1. I think I want it beside each other, so as we are reading, we can check, right? Okay, so let me just come here and show split view. Okay. From the above image, there are other email headers field of interest. We have the X originating IP, which is the IP address of the email that was sent from, that the mail was sent from. This is known as an X header. So we have it here, X originating IP. You can see that smtp.mailfrom/header.from, the domain the email was sent from. These headers are within the authentication results. So we come here, these are the authentication results. We can see that we have the header.smtp.mailfrom here, and we have the header.from. You can see it's mostly the same for this particular mail. We have reply to. This is the email address a reply email will be sent to instead of the from email address. So really, sometimes when you receive email from a sender, so it's either your response goes back to that originating email, or there is another address that your response will be sent to. I'm sure you would have seen that a lot if you use some services that gives auto-generated response email. They will tell you not to respond to that mail directly because it is auto-generated. But if you have any response, you should contact support. You should be familiar with that one. To clarify, in this email, in the email in the sample above, the sender is newsletters@hands.ankitech.com. But if a recipient replies to the email, the response will go to reply@hands.architect.com, which is the reply to. Okay, let's find the reply to. Return path, authentication results. Let's see. You can see that this is a sender newsletter, and this is the reply to. So below is an additional resource from Media Template on how to analyze email headers. So you can click on this and read it up. The questions below are based on the Media Template article, so we have to click on it. What email header is the same as reply to? Okay, so let's see. Still loading. So we just have to read. No, I can't read that for you yet. You can just take your time. So return path, the email address for return email, this is the same as reply to. So we type return path here. Return. Once you find this email sender's IP address, where can you retrieve more information about the IP? So we go ahead and read. So the easiest way for finding the original sender is by looking for the X originating IP header. This header is important since it tells you the IP address of the computer that had sent the email. If you cannot find the X originating IP header, then you will have to sift through the received headers to find the sender's IP address. In the example above, the originating IP address is 10.140.188.3. Once the email sender's IP address is found, you can search for it at this. Okay, so this is what we are going to copy. Ctrl C and paste. I'll paste it here. Ctrl V, submit. So we have our answer there. Okay, the next. The email body is the part of the email which contains the text, which can be plain or HTML formatted the sender wants you to view. Below is an example of a text-only email. I think let me minimize this for now so we have a bigger view. So hi John, I hope you had a good weekend. Could you please send over a few dates or times that you are available this week to discuss your work? Thanks, THM. And below is an example of the HTML formatted email. If you are wondering what HTML format is, you can just Google it. But I believe that for you to be at this stage on TryHackMe, you probably have some basic understanding of how the internet works. So you can see that the above email contains an image which was blocked by the email client and embedded hyperlinks. HTML is what makes it possible to add these elements to an email. To view an email's HTML code is the same approach shown below, but it may vary depending on the webmail client. In the example below, the screenshot is from ProtonMail, so you come by view source code from the email client. A snippet of the HTML code is shown below. In this specific email web client, ProtonMail, the option to switch back to HTML is called View Rendered HTML. So once you are done viewing the source code, send it back to the original way like this. Again, it will be different for other webmail clients. Lastly, emails may contain attachments. The same premise applies. You can view an email's attachment from an email's HTML format or by viewing the source code. Let's look at a few examples below. The following example is an HTML formatted email from Netflix with an attachment. The webmail client is Yahoo. Okay, so you can see the attachment here and you can see it your friends. The email body has an image. The email attachment is a PDF document. Now let's view the attachments within the source code. So we can click on this to get a bigger view. We can see X attachment ID. We can see the content ID. We can see it is encoded in base 64 and the file name is here. You can see the content type is telling it's PDF. You can see the encoding, base 64 encoding here. Good. From the above example, we can see the headers associated with this attachment. Content type is application/PDF. Content disposition specifies that it's an attachment, and the content transfer encoding tells us it is base 64 encoded. If you need to know more about base 64 encoding, you can Google it. With the base 64 encoded data, you can decode it and save it to your machine. Warning: when interacting with attachments, proceed with caution and make sure you don't double click an email's attachment by accident. Note: headers specific to content can be found in various locations within an email message source code, and they are not only associated with attachments. For example, content type can be text/HTML, and content transfer encoding can have other values such as 8 bits. In the above screenshots, what is the URI of the blocked image? So we are coming to this picture that has a blocked image. Okay, yeah, this is a blocked image. So we look at the content of it. Okay, so we can see here https://this.this.this. So this is what we are coming for. This is an image, so I don't think I can copy it. I have to type it out. hi.imgur.com. So hi.imgur.com. okay, caps lock LSW. Is this O or 0? Caps lock LSW O. TI. Is it I or 1? Okay, it's I.png. .png. Submit. Good. In the above screenshots, what is the name of the PDF attachment? So payment update ID.pdf. Okay, in the attached VM, view the information in email2.txt and reconstruct the PDF using the base 64 data. What is the text within the PDF? So we come here and check the in. This can be done using the terminal or CyberChef. Okay, close this, come to our web-based browser. We are looking for email 2, so we come here, email 2. Let's look at what we have. Okay, we can see the English words here, and we can see the base 64 words here. Okay, so let's look for the CyberChef that we can use, that we're told to use rather. It's taking a lot of time. So we come down here, come to tools, then we go to CyberChef, then we load it. So once we've loaded this, so you can either add a new input tab, you open folder as input, you open a file as input, or you can copy and paste. So because this is how do I put this now? Because this, you can see that it is having gibberish and it is having something that we can comprehend, we are going to have to copy and paste it. So Ctrl A, then Ctrl C, then we come here and we Ctrl V. So we will now edit this part out. Delete. Then because we look at the question again, using base 64 data. So because we know it is base 64, we will now pick from base 64 and bring it here. So it will now work on it. Once you have this now, we still cannot comprehend so much, and we know that this is a file, right? We know it's a PDF because we construct the PDF, and you know the format with which we save files is very important. So we are going to save output to file, and I can write decoded the mail, like we've decoded the mail. So dot, don't forget PDF because it is a PDF. Then we save. Okay, so once we've saved like that, what is the text within the PDF? So we open the PDF. So it is done saving, then we open. Once we open, we have it here, benign PDF attachment. That's our, so we copy this and we come here and we paste and we enter. So that's that about that. Now you may wonder why I didn't attach, since there is an option to directly paste the file. So let's come here just to show you, because you need to actually try methods so you can know why that is working that way and it's not. So you come to desktop and email samples, email 2, you open it. So this is it now. So you bring base 64. You can see that the output doesn't make sense, but let's still save so you can see what I'm talking about. Decoded.pdf. Okay, it's failed to load PDF document. You can see why is that is because we didn't edit the good parts from the PDF, so it's going to show it as something that didn't work out. So next time, that's why it was mentioned, view the information in email to text. So once they give you instructions like this, you need to follow them. Types of phishing. Now that we covered the general concepts regarding emails and how they travel from sender to recipient, we can now talk about how this method of communication is used for nefarious purposes. Different types of malicious emails can be classified as one of the following: spam, phishing, spear phishing, whaling, smishing, vishing. You can click on them and you're going to get more articles to read about them. You can see fully packed. So when you are learning, make sure you are learning extensively and not just doing surface reading. Spam is unsolicited junk email sent out in bulk to a large number of recipients. The more malicious variant of spam is known as mouse spam. Phishing, emails sent to a target or targets purporting to be from a trusted entity to lure individuals into providing sensitive information. Spear phishing. Spear phishing takes phishing a step further by targeting a specific individual or individuals or organizations seeking sensitive information. Now, phishing we just target insider just for information, but spear phishing will target specific people in the organization. Whaling, it is similar to spear phishing, but it is targeted specifically to C-level high position individuals such as the CEO, the CFO, and the objective is the same: sensitive information. Smishing takes phishing to mobile devices by targeting mobile users using specially crafted text messages. So if you receive malicious text messages, you know that that's smishing. Phishing is similar to smishing, but instead of using text messages for the social engineering attack, the attacks are based on voice calls. When it comes to phishing, the modus operandi is usually the same depending on the objective of the email. For example, the objective can be to harvest credentials, and another is to gain access to the computer. Below are typical characteristics phishing emails have in common. The sender email name or address will masquerade as a trusted entity, that is email spoofing. The email subject line and or body text is written with a sense of urgency or uses certain keywords such as invoice, suspended, etc. The email body, that is the HTML, is designed to match a trusting entity such as Amazon. The email body is poorly formatted or written. The email body uses generic content such as "Dear Ma" or "Dear Sir." Hyperlinks oftentimes uses URL shortening services to hide its true origin. A malicious attachment posing as a legitimate document. We will look at each of these techniques or characteristics in greater detail in the next room within the phishing module. Reminder: when dealing with hyperlinks and attachments, you need to be careful not to accidentally click on the hyperlink or the attachment. Hyperlinks and IP addresses should be defanged. Defanging is a way of making the URL or domain or email address unclickable to avoid accidental clicks, which may result in a serious security breach. It replaces special characters like @ in the email or dot in the URL with different characters. For example, a highly suspicious domain http www.suspiciousdomain.com will be changed to xxsp inside brackets before forwarding it to SOC team for detection. Analyze the email titled email3.aml within the virtual machine and answer the questions below. Note: Alexa is the victim and Billy is the analyst assigned to the case. Alexa forwarded the email to Billy for analysis. So we are going to email 3. Let's see. Email 3. Okay. So we've been asked, what trusted entity is the email masquerading as? We can see tech B. Let's see. What trusted entity? Can see tech B. Okay, so if you see from this, let's check the sender from. Okay, we can see that there is gibberish here before we now have support at tech B. So let's try to decode this. We can remove all this. You can just come here. You copy this. Should we copy? Let's just copy like this first. Sometimes it's just trial and error. Let's copy this. We know that equals to should not be part of it. Okay, Control C. So we come to okay, we come to our cyber chef. It's still cyber chef that we will use there now. because that's a tool that has been provided. Okay, CyberChef. Close this. I'll paste this. Control V. And we took from base 64. Do we have something making sense? No. Let's remove this. I thought we should remove this. Okay. So the question marks we should actually not be there. So we can see thank you Home Depot. So don't give up. You just try to remove something. So you have to read up more on base 64 so you can know what the strings should look like. So it is actually masquerading as Home Depot. Home Depot. Okay. What is the sender's email? Just as we've checked before. What is the sender's email? Sorry. Email from. We are going to from. So support@techb.com. Control C. Support@techb. Control V. Okay. What is the subject line? So we come here. Subject line. This is subject. We can see that it is also encoded. So from our previous experience, we are copying from here up to here, right? Control C. Come here. Delete what we have. Oh, sorry. Delete this. Control V. Paste what we have. Other place. So this is the content. So we just copy this. Then come here. Control V and enter. So we are good to go. What is the URL link for click? Enter the defined URL. So we come back here, come here, look for click here. That means there should be a click here somewhere. Okay, we found it. You can copy. I don't know where to copy from. So what I'll just do is copy from here. Control C. I think you have to actually copy from after that. Let's see. So Control V. I don't think this is needed. I don't think so. In this case, if you don't know what to do, there's a tool called Magic here. So let's delete this. Come here, come to Magic, bring Magic. It kind of just does its thing and tell you what to do. You can see this is the real thing. So if you click on this, right, then that means we can now use our from base 64 to decode. It's still not making sense. So let's see. Okay, remove this. Remove this. Okay, I think this J3 should not be there actually. J3. Let me look at the int. Let's check the int. The int said there are repeat characters that you can remove from the URL. CyberChef can help you with this along with defining. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay. So let's copy this. Okay, there's something else. Replace input with output. Okay, then we now. Okay, we replace the input to from base 64. From base 64. Do we have? Okay, what are we supposed to do next? I'm actually expecting. Okay, let's come back. Expecting to see a URL from the decoding. Click here. Okay. What was the question again? What is the URL link for the click here? Enter the defined URL. Okay. You can see the method of the answer. I know this is techb dot whatever it is. I believe rather that should be the. I think we have. It should be the techb. Click here. techb.com. Let's see. Maybe not. Okay. So let's just come here. No, not to base 64. Oh, I picked to base 64. From base 64. Data is not a valid. Why? Why is it not valid? Let's remove this. Okay, still not valid. Let's remove this. Still not valid. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Okay, let's come from here again. Control C. Come here. Oh, sorry, still in the same. Delete this. Come here. Control V. We delete this. Use magic. Okay. We have this. This is the response, right? So we send this back to the inputs. Then we bring in from base 64. Okay, I don't know why this is doing this. Let me just try to remove this. Do we have something making sense? What was the question? What was the int again? We should remove the repeat characters from the URL. Okay. I'm supposed to remove this. I remove this. Okay, let's remove this. 1, 2. Still not. Let me see what other repeat characters that we have. Could be more than one. Remove the 3D. Okay, there is another one. This equals to. There's another equals to here. Between this FV and TV. Okay. It has been removed. Let me just copy the original thing. Oh, this is taking too much time. It's not supposed to be this time consuming. Control C. Let's see. Control V. Okay, come to the repeat characters that you can remove from the URL. Okay. Repeat characters 3D. Are you supposed to remove that one? 3D. 3D. Okay. Sometimes it's like this, and other times you get it directly. Just one trial and you are good to go. Then I don't even know if I'm supposed to pick the whole line. Then do your magic again. Just do magic and see if we have something. It is one hanging. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, maybe I should just copy everything. Let me see what they have first. Okay, I'm not even supposed to decode. Let's see, because they said enter the defined URL. Let me just come here. Delete this. Delete this. They're asking me for the defined URL, right? So let me just come here and click everything. So you copy it, and let's see. Now I'll put this here. We paste it. This is everything, right? Okay, now let me come to magic. Okay, so I'll put this, click on this. Okay, I think it's looking like I'm actually not supposed to use decoding. So I will now look, I'm supposed to defang. You can defang manually, but let me just show you how it is done. Defang URL. Okay, so it has, we can see that it has been defanged. So now let me see, let me copy. Oh, okay, good. So I was trying to decode something that was not even supposed to be decoded. That's why we're having challenges then. So that's how these things work. Sometimes you think you know it and it's just something else. In conclusion, before ending this room, you should know what BEC, business email compromise, means. A business email compromise is when an adversary gains control of an internal employee's account and uses the compromised email account to convince other internal employees to perform unauthorized or fraudulent actions. Tip: you should be familiar with this term. I have had this question asked before in a job interview. Within this room, we cover the following: what makes up an email address, how an email travels from sender to recipient, how to view the source code of an email header, how to view the source code of an email body, understand the pertinent information we should obtain from an email we are analyzing, some common techniques attackers use in spam and phishing email campaigns. In the upcoming phishing analysis series, we will look at samples of various common techniques used in phishing email campaigns, along with tools to assist us with analyzing an email header and email body. The next room in this module is phishing emails too. So we can just open this in a link. So what is BEC? Business email compromise. You can read more on this to know more. Submit. So you can leave a feedback. What do you like about the room? Everything. What don't you like about the room? Nothing. And I think I've done. Please send suggestions, ideas, and comments. Awesome. Send feedback. Good. You can share with your friends, okay? And you can also click this to give a thumbs up. I've done that already. So with that, we've come to the end of this lesson. You have to terminate your machine once you are done. Terminate machine. Okay, good.